Hey, what's up guys? It's Marv and welcome back to another Asphalt Legends Unite video. Today I have the 2025 Garage Tour and Update video, and I didn't even realize it's been over 2 years since my last Garage Update video, so I thought now that we have Unite, now that it's 2025, it would be a great time to showcase my garage. I do have a couple of things I want to mention though. Firstly is that this is entirely free to play, so I haven't spent a single dime on Asphalt Legends Unite, so keep that in mind while you watch my video. So if you're wondering how far a free-to-play player can go, especially since I don't do a whole lot of grinding now these days, well, you're in the right place. So keep in mind that I haven't spent any money on this game and this is my garage. So the other thing I want to mention is down in the description below, you can see all of my social media channels, including my Discord if you want to hang out and just chat it up with me, and my Instagram if you want to see my car photography journey. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the garage tour. Alright, so as you can see, we're on the main screen and I got my SSE Tuatara sitting there. This is still definitely my favorite car in Asphalt Legends Unite, but I do have a couple of new favorites as well. So as you can see, I have 188 cars, not quite at 200, since I think as you progress in this game, your rate of unlocks does slightly go down as you go forward. But yeah, this isn't going to be super long because frankly, it hasn't been a super crazy update since my last video, but there have been a couple of nice additions. So as we go through D-Class, most of the things that came with Asphalt Legends Unite, like the 370Z Neon that was kind of just given out, I've gotten that. But what I do want to showcase is the Chimera Evo 37. I just got this through the Grand Prix and I absolutely adore it. I had to get it at least 2 stars because I wanted to make it orange, of course, but I ended up needing to get it at 3 stars because the group I was in was super duper competitive. So I managed to win it in the end, so I'm super happy with that. And it's not at max, but honestly, I just want this for the collection for the whole rally history thing rather than anything else, so it's nice to have. I do want the DS E10's performance at some point, and I also like the Vantage GT, or actually it's just the V12 at some point because it looks kind of cool, but maybe they'll add the new Vantage at some point because it does look quite a bit nice as well. Alright, so as we move into C-Class, again, more of the same, sort of just maxing out cars previously. Everyone got the Porsche Mission R as well during that Drive Syndicate, so that was quite nice. As we move up into the higher end range, I did recently get the De Tomaso P900. It's not quite the De Tomaso that I would have liked, or the De Tomato, but it is one of them, and I do have to say it looks so darn sexy. I absolutely love the curves on this car, so I'm happy I have it in my garage. Don't really care about the performance, that's why I only have it at 1 star, but it's just a nice to have. What I will say though is recently in the Mayhem event that I actually made a video about this last time around, I did max out the Mercedes-AMG GT Black Series. This is a really good C-Class car, and it is in that C Elite. As you can see, it's the second highest rank. So that's a really nice car to have. If you haven't played the Mayhem event, I highly suggest doing so because you might get this car or fully max it out entirely for free. One thing I sorely regret is not tryharding in the Grand Prix for the Daytona SP3. This car just looks so dang good, as you can see. So I'm kind of sad I missed out on it, so hopefully next time around I'll manage to pick it up. Alright, so moving into B-Class, again, not anything super crazy. Multiplayer has been nice because I have been getting a lot of cars that I just missed out on. So this M4 GT3, for example, I think I just unlocked recently in one of the past seasons of multiplayer, since you can get the blueprints just for free by playing multiplayer, which is quite nice. And a lot of other cars, again, I've just been sort of starring up. I am working on the Lego Technic Stingray, but honestly, I don't really want to grind that much, so I don't know if I'll be able to get it this time around, but I'll see what I can do with it. One thing that has been nice is with Asphalt Legends Unite, there have been a couple of updates to the Legends store, and so with that, I managed to go from 2 to 4 stars for the Aston Martin 177. In my opinion, probably one of the top 3 best designed cars ever made. And so I love this car just in general, so it's nice to have it not only at 2 stars, but continually upgrading it. I don't really know how useful it is nowadays in multiplayer, but again, it's nice because you can just buy blueprints from the Legends store without worrying about using tokens on the blueprints. So my garage in B-Class has been slowly upgrading itself, and again, just like with the AMG GT Black Series with the Mayhem event, I also maxed out the Porsche Carrera GT, which was nice. This is such a legendary car, everyone's got to have this in their garage, so it's nice to have it at a high star count finally. Now, unfortunately, one of the places that I am sorely lacking is this high-end B-Class area. As you can see, the one I really have is the McLaren F1 LM, but I feel like it's sort of fallen out of favor recently with some of the new additions. So hopefully the Revuelto or the Temerario will come around again because I already have them unlocked. Everyone got them for free, so I don't have to spend a whole lot of tokens to really max them out. And I would prefer the Revuelto because it came in the factory orange, which I absolutely love. I've taken actually quite a few pictures of this car in real life, so I think this thing looks absolutely sick. So I'm excited to hopefully start up next time it comes around. Alright, so now we're moving into A-Class. This is where things get a little spicy. One thing I really enjoy is the McMurtry Spearling. You can see just how cute and adorable this little car is. It has a big fan in the back, or actually on the bottom, I think, that sort of sucks the car down for traction in real life. I don't really know how much of a factor that plays in Asphalt Legends Unite, but either way, I just had to get this car on principle. It's sort of a weird, quirky car, and so I'm here for that. Hopefully I can get it at more stars later, but I don't think I'm going to spend too many tokens on it. It's not really useful in multiplayer. As you can see, it's sort of near the bottom of A-Class where we've had cars since the launch of the game, such as the P1, as you can see, as well as the F1 or the Force 1 V10. Those cars have been in the game since launch, so this car isn't really that useful unless it comes around for an event. So I'm not super worried about it. One thing I really do want, honestly, is the final import parts that I need for my Vanda, because as you can see, it's still a couple hundred off max. And yeah, I know Vanda spammers and all that in multiplayer, but it would be nice to, you know, every once in a while, if you're getting just destroyed by Vandas in multiplayer, you can take one of yours out and just sort of give people a taste of their own medicine. So as we move up in A-Class, one thing I've started to really get is a couple of stars for the Citroen. This one I think is also available now in the Legend store, so again, that's one that I've been acquiring blueprints for a while, along with the Aston Martin Victor. Again, that's one where if you have a high enough garage level, you can actually start purchasing blueprints for it directly with currency. One thing I will note is this is a very, very good car for multiplayer, so especially I am keeping an eye out in the Legend store for blueprints of that car specifically, and I suggest you do that as well. Another thing I'm working towards is the McLaren 650S GT3. I really hate McLaren's naming schemes, but anyway, again, another pretty good car for multiplayer, but this one is actually the Clash exclusive car. And since I'm pretty much done upgrading my Agera RS and my Jesko, I'm actually putting all of my resources into this car, which is why I have it almost at max. I'm actually halfway there to the final star, so I'm definitely going to be making a video about this car once I get it at max. I'll start upgrading that as well. Again, another event car that I got through that Mayhem event that we got recently, the SF90X Extradale. I don't think I even was close to unlocking this car before, and now I have it at 3 stars. I might even use those 3 wild cards to upgrade it to 4 stars, because why not? So that's been pretty exciting. I have no idea how useful it's going to be at 4 stars, but it'll be nice to have nonetheless. Again, another car here that I got from the Mayhem event. This is the Noble M600 Speedster. Again, I can't recall which version was actually in Top Gear, but this was one of the famous Top Gear cars that the Stig drove around the track, so I'm just happy to have it in the garage. Finally, I also got the shark car, the one that, well, looks like a shark, the Asfane. This was from the recent Drive Syndicate, so I got this at 3 stars, didn't have to really spend any tokens on it at all. It looks just absolutely wild, so I'm just, again, happy to have it in the garage. And that's sort of the theme, is you'll notice as I'm going through all of these different cars, quite a lot of the newer ones aren't really at high star count, because realistically, my goal has sort of shifted. In the beginning of the game's life cycle, I was really focused on, I need every car that comes out, I need it at max, I need it as best as I can get it. Whereas now, you know, because I don't want to go through all the grinding, I don't want to obviously just dump tokens every single time a new car comes out either. So honestly, I just select the cars that I'm really passionate about, and if I really want to, I can dump tokens into it and get it just for my own sake because I want it in my garage. Or if I happen to stumble across the car, just like the Noble M600 Speedster, well, great, just give me the car then, game off. I appreciate that. So finally, we're here at the top of A-Class. One thing I want to note is I did star up the Imola, just 1 more star. It's not quite at max, but it was pretty good already, so I'm just happy to have the free performance pretty much. That was from the previous Imola event. I don't think I actually got blueprints from the event directly. I think it was just my club milestones that I got 5 free blueprints, so that was pretty nice. And of course, we have the Team Fordzilla P1. If you haven't checked out that video, you can check out the one I made about this car in multiplayer, specifically in Platinum 2. So it's quite a decent car for that Platinum 2 range. but once you go beyond Legend League, it's not really useful. It has such a high rank and crazy acceleration, but it just doesn't perform as well as I'd hoped. But nonetheless, it looks pretty cool. I'm happy to have a very high-end A-class car in my garage. I don't think it qualifies for A-class Elite though. That's sort of an issue. It might, but last time now, especially with the 499p, it might be getting kicked out soon. So that's one last thing I'd want to mention. I definitely want a very high-end A-class car. I am eyeing the Daytomato P72. That's the next one I want to get. Look at how good this car looks. All right, and finally we reach S-Class, the pinnacle of Asphalt performance. And as you can see, not much has changed in the bottom of S-Class. A couple of cars here and there, but nothing really notable. As I move on though, as you can see, I got that McLaren Speedtail from the, I forgot what they call it, the Starway, I think it was. So that was quite nice as well. And the recent addition beyond the Jesko is this, the W Motors Lykan Hypersport Neon Edition. I have this car at max. As you can see, I haven't really upgraded it at all. I was spending all my currency on the Fordzilla and another car I'll mention in a second. So this is the next car that I'm planning on upgrading. I will make a multiplayer video about this because I've heard some pretty good things about this car despite it not being ranked all the way at the top. All right, so as we move on here, one thing I want to mention is through that Clash store is where I've almost maxed out the Agera RS. I think it's pretty good at this rank. I'm not really keen on spending a whole bunch of Clash currency to get it at that final star. At least for the time being, my focus is on that McLaren like I mentioned earlier. So it's nice to have a really good performing S-Class car pretty much just for playing the Clash. Again, there's my Tuatara, my absolute favorite car in the game. Is it as performant as the Hennessy or as sharp as the Jesko? No. Does it look way better? Heck yes. So I just love this car. I think eventually I'll spend some tokens to really max it out, but I'm quite happy with at least what the performance is right now. And last but certainly not least, we have the recent addition to my best car in Asphalt Legends Unite, bar none. This is the Zenvo Aurora Tour. A video is coming. I've actually recorded quite a few races in Legend League, so keep an eye out for that coming later on my channel. But this is the best car I have in Asphalt Legends Unite. It's ranked 4,803, not quite max of over 5,000. As you can see, I still have quite a little ways to go, some import parts and some epic import parts that I just don't have, unfortunately. But I think after upgrading this car, I was a little bit surprised. I thought it was going to be really, really bad with the nitro efficiency and everything. And while I do think it's overranked, I'm kind of spoiling a bit for my later video, so I won't go too far. It's definitely still a pretty decent car, and it quite surprised me with how well it could perform against the other kings in S-Class. But yeah, there we have it. Not only a voice crack, but also my whole garage. As you can see, I don't really have any of the top-end S-Class cars. I just don't think it's quite realistic if you're not spending a whole bunch of money or really, really going crazy like top ones in every event finish. So I don't really know if you're free to play how realistic it is to get those cars, but really, I'm quite happy with my garage. I was really aiming for the Tuatara as like my favorite car, so I got that. I'm quite happy, but that is my garage in Asphalt Legends Unite. Quite a decent arsenal of cars, I would say. Again, I do have some gaps here and there, but not anything that I'm like super depressed about or anything. I do say I want the Utopia Coupe. That would be cool. The next big Pagani release, I gotta have it. So there are some cars here and there that I'd like to get, some more that I do want to star up as well, but that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your garage is like in 2025 in the comment section down below, and I will see you all later.